There are places in the heart where nothing grows, where silence has taken root and light hesitates to enter. We call it emptiness, but that word is too heavy for what it really is. Emptiness isn't the absence of life. It's the space life leaves behind when it pauses to breathe. We spend so much of our time trying to fill it. With noise, with people, with meaning, with movement. But maybe the space itself is the message. Maybe it's the universe saying, rest here for a moment. When you stand in an empty room, you can hear everything that's missing. The echo of laughter that once lived there. The sound of footsteps that no longer arrive. And in that echo, something ancient stirs. A reminder that stillness is not the end. It's the waiting before the next beginning. We fear emptiness because we confuse it with loss. But not all silence mourns. Some silence listens. Some silence builds. There's a shape to it, if you look long enough. A pattern hidden in the nothingness. Like the outline of a door not yet opened. We fill our rooms, our screens, our days. But the fullness rarely satisfies. Because fullness without meaning is just noise. And sometimes what we need most is to let something go. To create room for breath to return. The shape of emptiness is not hollow. It curves around the things that matter. It gives them definition. Without the space around it, even light can't shine. Maybe the point of emptiness is not to escape it, but to let it teach us how to see again. We were born from silence. And we'll return to it someday. Between those two quiets, we mistake movement for progress. And noise for life. But life doesn't always arrive with sound. Sometimes, it arrives with a pause. The gentle stillness before the rain begins. The breath before you speak the truth you've been avoiding. Emptiness is not cruel. It's clarity. It's what remains when everything false has fallen away. And maybe that's what we are really afraid of. Not the nothing, but the truth that waits inside it. We are taught to fill the silence. To speak when things get quiet. To find something, anything to keep the stillness from touching us. But what if the stillness isn't a threat? What if it's an invitation? Emptiness asks nothing of us. And that's what makes it unbearable. It doesn't demand or promise. It simply waits. When everything stops moving, you start to hear the quiet machinery of being. The hum beneath the heartbeat. The awareness that was always there. Patiently waiting behind the noise. It's in those moments, when you finally run out of distractions, that the truth begins to whisper. Not loudly. Not with certainty. But with the gentle honesty of something that has always known you. The mind fights it, of course. It throws up memories, desires, fears. It wants to build something out of the empty air. But emptiness is not meant to be built upon. It's meant to be entered. It's the temple with no walls. The canvas before the first stroke. The breath you hold before saying I forgive you. Inside it, you meet yourself again. The version that doesn't need an audience. The part that remembers who you were. Before the world told you who to be. There is peace there. Not the kind that glows or sings. But the kind that simply exists. It's the quiet acknowledgement that you can stop searching for a moment. Because nothing is missing. We are so used to defining ourselves by what we possess. The space feels wrong when our hands are empty. But the truth is, we hold more when we release. We see more when we stop reaching. Emptiness is not a hole in the world. It's the space where new life begins. It's the soil after the fire. The sea before the storm. It doesn't rush. It doesn't explain. It simply is. And in its quiet shape, you start to understand that you were never meant to fill every silence. You were meant to live inside some of them. To feel them as they are. Vast, honest, and alive. Because emptiness is not lack. It's latitude. It's the distance that lets meaning breathe. At some point, you stop trying to fill it. You stop rearranging the silence and let it stand as it is. Unpainted, unfinished, whole. That's when you notice. The emptiness isn't blank. It's luminous. It catches the light differently. Like water bending around a stone. You begin to see beauty where you once saw loss. The empty chair isn't a reminder of absence. It's an altar of presence. A space that still holds what was loved. We forget that space gives everything its meaning. A song is only music because of the pauses between notes. A sky is vast because it's open. Even love needs distance to breathe. Emptiness teaches you to listen without needing to answer. To walk without needing to arrive. It strips away the noise of becoming. And leaves you with the quiet truth of being. In that stillness, you realize something sacred. You've never truly been alone. You've been surrounded by everything you couldn't see while reaching for more. The silence hums now. Not with absence, but with life unspoken. You feel it in the pulse beneath your skin. In the air that moves through the room like a gentle reminder. You exist, even when you do nothing. And that's enough. It's always been enough. You begin to carry emptiness differently. Not as a burden, but as balance. It walks beside you, quietly shaping the outline of who you are becoming. When you lose something, you no longer ask how to replace it. You ask what space it has created. What might grow there. If you don't rush to fill it. The shape of emptiness is the shape of trust. Trust that the world knows how to return what's meant for you. That stillness isn't stagnation, but the quiet part of a greater rhythm. Eventually, you stop fearing the quiet. You start seeking it. It becomes a home instead of a void. A place where you can finally hear yourself breathe. And in that breath, you understand what it means to be alive. Not because of what you hold, but because of what you let go. Emptiness is not the end. It's the frame that makes meaning visible. The silence that turns sound into song. The pause that lets love return. That is its shape. Not hollow, but whole. Not nothing, but everything in waiting.